So, we know, we're talking about vibration. We must, because everything is. We're talking about emotion. It matters because your emotions are your indicator of your vibration. And once you get a handle on that, once you understand that the way you feel is so important, and that it's not wrong or bad or inappropriate to have negative emotion any more than it is wrong or bad to have sensors in your hands that tell you that the stove is hot and that it is not beneficial for you to embrace it. Oh, this is a problem. I'm embarrassed that I'm so sensitive. I could get Novocaine or something to prevent me from feeling the discomfort of this. Or you could utilize your guidance and not do things, not say things, not think things that feel bad, you see. Because if you don't continue the thoughts that feel bad, they'll peter out because they're only active in your vibration because of your attention to them, you see. Anything that's happening to you means that you have an active vibration that is calling it. An active vibration that's calling to you what you don't want, an active vibration that is keeping you from what you do want, you see. You are the creator of your own reality because you are the emitter of your own vibration, because you are the thinker of your own thoughts, and you are the responder or not responder to your own guidance system. And so this is not a difficult thing. Kate played a game with Jerry and Esther when she was really little. It was really fun. She would hide something in some big room, and then they would come in and she would guide them by saying, you're getting warmer, or you're getting colder, you're getting colder. And because she knew where it was, and because her signal was very clear and obvious, they always found it every single time, usually relatively quickly. Jerry would sometimes just go in opposition to what she was saying. Colder, 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 colder. That's sort of like frustration, more frustration, overwhelmment, anger, true resentment, revenge, hatred, fear, depression, colder, 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 further from who you are, further from what you want. This is not difficult. But you want to get in touch with your emotions. You want to stop pretending that you don't feel what you feel and accept them as the very valuable guidance that they are. Not a judgment, not a punishment, not an indictment. A simple awareness of where you are in relationship to who you really are, what you really want, who you really mean to be. That's all. And when you get your guidance clear in your own mind, then life becomes easy to understand. So how is it that anyone, it seems so simple, doesn't it? Why didn't I think of that? Seems so simple. Well, it is simple, except that sometimes, always, usually, often, you let what someone else seems to want from you matter more than what you're feeling. So, over time, you've trained yourself away from your emotional response, the emotional response that you intended. So, you sometimes spend your day or your week or your life trying to adjust yourself to please someone else. And you do it to them too. You do it to each other because it really feels wonderful when someone is approving of you or appreciating you, doesn't it? And so you try to cater to that, but oh, you get yourself in quite a bind, don't you? If there are two of them who want different things from you, you sort of have to hang around with people one at a time in order to keep everybody happy. Get them in a room together and then you just sit there quietly. You do, don't you? You don't say very much because you know that one doesn't want to hear that and you know that one doesn't want to hear that. So it really is a good time for you, if you want to feel good and live happily ever after and fulfill your purpose and get on your path and do what you meant to do. No pressure here. It's really time for you to decide that you want to feel good and begin paying attention to what does feel good and begin noticing that every bit of everything that doesn't feel good to you is self-inflicted every single time. We know blame feels better than guilt. If you weren't behaving that way, I was perfectly happy, and then you did that. And because you did that, now I feel this. If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't be feeling this. Therefore, you are responsible for this that I feel. And we say, that is the trap. That is the flawed premise that has you as a human race moving around your planet trying to control the conditions so that you can feel better. How's it working out? You got enough money to do that? You got enough money to lock up all the renegades? You got enough money to create enough ways to restrain them or destroy them or intimidate them? How's that working out? So when you decide that you can create your own reality, because you do, and that you can create your own reality deliberately and purposefully and joyously, because you can, and you stop needing conditions to change in order for your emotions to feel good, then you will begin to live the unconditional love that people talk about all the time but don't understand. Unconditional love means while conditions exist that I have no control over, I have managed to focus myself into vibrational alignment. We think you might be able to hear unconditional love better if we say it the way it really is: unconditional alignment, unconditional love, unconditional clarity, unconditional vitality, unconditional fun, unconditional good feeling, unconditional good stuff. Unconditional alignment, unconditional clarity, unconditional love, which means you're looking at this situation in the way that Source does. You're not asking the condition to change in order to feel good. You're able to feel good even with the condition existing. Because you understand that you are the creator of your own reality. So sometimes people think that what we mean by that is put yourself right in the middle of a horrible condition and feel good. Be unconditional about it, sort of like tolerate it. We say that isn't what we mean at all. We mean adjust the way you approach it mentally. Approach the way you are looking at it. Find the way that Source is looking at it. You look at death in a way that takes you to your knees. And Source looks at death as it really is, continuation of life. So when you look at it as loss and Source looks at it as life, you got a contradiction going on that makes you feel what you call grief. Because you misunderstand life, you see. So little by little, if you care about feeling good, do you? Little by little, if you care about feeling good, you'll find a way in this condition and in this one and in this one and in this one to feel better and better and better. And then you know what happens? Conditions change all around you. But that's tricky, isn't it? Because when we say to you, if you want the condition to change, if you need the condition to change, then do these things and the condition will change, we are leading you into a trap again. What we want to say to you is feel good regardless of the condition, and then the condition will change. And you might want to say, Abraham, aren't you saying the same thing? No, we're saying two really different things. So Esther's been listening to us for a while. She wants to be unconditional in her love. She wants to be love first and then approach life so that she's happy as she moves around in a world of diversity and different choices by different people, because she knows she can't control what other people are creating for themselves. So she was listening and wanting to be unconditional. And one day she was sitting on her porch, looking out across beautiful things, basking, intoxicated really, with the splendor of the moment. Oh, beautiful cranes that someone sculpted out of metal. So beautiful. They look real. Trees that are perfection, really. A beautiful pool and water gardens. She was feeling such appreciation and feeling so blessed to be sitting there experiencing this. And then she thought, these are lovely conditions. And then she said, Abraham, I have a question for you. Isn't this conditional love? I love that pretty thing, and that pretty thing, and that pretty thing, and that pretty thing. Aren't I responding to the conditions? And we said, no, it's different than that. You were there before you realized to this depth those conditions. Can you feel the difference? She was vibrationally there. That's why they were so much more beautiful than they had ever been before. She had reached a place of alignment that allowed her to see these things. So we're not saying that you are ever going to want to withdraw yourself from the conditions of this world. You can't do that. You live in this tangible world where you're seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching all the time. Just don't ask the condition to be the reason for the way you feel. The resource of your life is vibrational, not conditional. It's about alignment, not about conditions. It's about aligning with source, not aligning with mother. It's about aligning with source, not aligning with a political party or. You following? You are following. You're following. You're hearing this, you're getting this, you're resonating with this, and life will show this to you again and again and again and again and again. So now you know everything we know. You do. Right now you do. Right now you do. Right now you do. You know everything we know that matters to you. You know you are vibrational. You know that it matters that you are here. You know that you are loved. You know that source is love. You know that source is giving you undivided attention. You know that if you stand in vibrational resonance with that which is source is, there'll be no gap between you and source, and you'll feel wonderful. You'll feel clear-minded. You'll feel vital and alive. You'll have fun. And so now you just got to work your way there more often by recognizing you're getting colder, you're getting colder, you're getting warmer. You're getting warmer. And you're no longer asking circumstances to change to warm you up. No longer giving away your power by asking others to hold the key to how you feel. It's utter freedom. That is utter freedom. When you get there and sustain it, you are going to be so glad. You're going to say to people, you're terrible. You're just terrible, and it's all right with me. It's all right with me, because you're going to say in your wedding vows, you're going to say, I promise you that I will never care what you think about me as long as I live. You'll say, be who you need to be, when you need to be, whoever you need to be, and I'm fine. I'm never going to hold you hostage. You are never, ever going to be responsible for the way I feel. I'm granting myself that freedom, and in the process, you might get a whiff of it too. But I'm going to live happily ever after. I am living happily ever after, because that's who I am. That's what I do. That's why I exist. That's what I came for. You didn't come to fix things that are broken. Nothing's broken. You didn't come to teach people to be different than they are. How conditional is that? Don't you think if people needed to be taught to be different, that Source would have done it? Don't you think you would have known it when you came? Don't you think that perfection would have already been achieved, and then you'd just be running around perfect with each other? That wasn't your plan. Eternalness is your plan. Expansion is your plan. And without contrast and variety, you can't come to one conclusion about what you prefer. So step one is life causes you to ask all day, every day, at every level of your being. Step two is Source becomes it vibrationally and holds that place marker, holds that vibrational frequency to the point of your evolution. Oh, it's glorious who you are. And then your work is to pay attention to the way you feel and move into alignment with who you really are. And don't get too heavy about it. When people say, where were you? Say, oh, just off having fun. I went to a seminar and I found the secrets of life. And I don't think you're living them very well.